Good morning, day 18, and we're continuing with eye exercises. And what we did yesterday was we looked at just getting the eyes to move separately in the head. We weren't really going anywhere very much, but that is a very important step, as is getting primitive reflexes sorted. We want to get to the point where the person can control the eyes separately to the head, the person can control their eye movements fully. So, as we were saying at the end of yesterday, once you've got the basic movement of the eyes going, you want to get wider movements. You want to work possibly with each individual eye. And whatever you do with one eye, you're going to do the same with the other eye. So even if you're patching up, it's for a few minutes, and then you're going to swap. You're going to do exactly the same thing with the other eye. Eyes need to work equally. You do not favour one eye or the other. It is really important. So, big patches, you're going to cover the socket. It's not about blocking out the light particularly, it is about giving you the chance to really think what is happening with one eye and to work with that eye. The other eye will be moving under the patch. You will then swap and you will work with the other eye. It gives the child the chance to really think, is this eye working? So the first activity is you're going to take an expensive pencil, something where they can clearly focus on the top. So pens with a really nice clear top. I have no end of them. And you're going to get the child to follow it. And they're going to follow it out, and their eye's going to be right out there. Hold it for 3, bring it in, and they're going to be over to the other side. And it's a slow movement from right to left, left to right. When you get to the end, you're going to count to 3 to give them the chance to just push that eye from one side to the other. You want them to try and push those muscles, not strain them, but feel they're actually using them. Sometimes I have clients who very limited eye movement, and they're kind of, well, yeah, I'm not having any effect at all, because they're not really using the muscles. So you're following it back and forth. You might at the beginning only do 3 repetitions. You're aiming to get to about 10. You want to do the exercises maybe 4 or 5 times a week, not every day. Eyes need a chance to rest, and they will anyway learn to move. You will see the child's eyes move more widely just because you've been working on getting them working better. Their reflexes will take over. And so you're looking for that really good wide movement. You want the iris of the eye right in the corner on both sides. And the eyes should be moving really smoothly. They shouldn't be. And some eyes, when you start, there's a lot of jumping, and the child finds it impossible to follow a target. Or when you get to this point, there's going to be a jump as they try and focus beyond their nose. The eye control eventually should be so good that it feels like you're moving it with a string. The eye just stays with your pencil top, and there is no variance at all. You are really able to get that eye to track and follow the top of the pencil. That movement, particularly when you're going left to right, is a foundation skill for reading. If you haven't got that in place, you are never going to be a good reader. So, your eyes moving up and down, another exercise, exactly the same. And when you're doing it, be aware that children do lose sight of the pen and pencil. So make sure that all the time doing these exercises, you're checking they can see the top of the pen. And it's exactly the same exercise. You're keeping the head still, the eye is going up, the eye is coming down. And it's really important. It's slow, it's controlled. So don't rush eye movements. They're slow, they're controlled, they're precise. And when you introduce new exercises, introduce, 2, 3 at a time, get them working well before you start bringing in more. And make sure they can see the top of the pencil all the time. They're not just keeping you happy, but actually they've lost it 2 minutes ago. You'll soon realise that some have got very, very limited vision and that you go much beyond their central vision and they've lost the pencil. And you're going to need to really work on getting them to be able to track the pencil. You're going to need to be able to get them working on opening up their vision, and we'll do more about that. But as your motor skills, your sound and your eye exercises come together, peripheral vision should open up to 170 degrees. You should be able to look forward and see your fingers wiggling at 170 degrees. Next exercise I'm going to show you is to get the eyes moving in every direction, not just horizontally and vertically. So what you're going to do is imagine there's a giant clock in front of you. I often use my nose as the middle, and you're saying to the child, we're going to go from the middle of the clock up to 1. We're then going to come back to the middle, we're going to go out to 2. Back from 2, and we're going to go out to 3. And so you're just literally working around 12 points of the clock, getting the eye to follow in from the middle out to a point, middle out to a point. It gets the eye working on angles that it's not used to working. And then again, you see a lot of jumping. But you do it slowly, do it regularly, it works very well. And again, working with one eye, then the other, you can see if there's a difference between the two eyes. You can also do this exercise if you're standing against a wall and you've got a point and you're a bit away from the wall, and you're holding the child's head and they get to look to where they think number 1 is, come back to the middle, look to where they think number 2 is, come back to the middle, and so on. That enables the child to work relatively independently. It enables you to see whether they can do the exercise and keep their head still. It enables you to stand behind them and hold their head while they move their eyes. What you don't get is the ability to see the eye movements. So you might want to chop and change so that each week you do get to have a look at the eye movements, because they will change. So you can put it on a wall, you can get them going in and out. The other advantage of a wall is you can get them to follow the edge of the wall round in a big circle, clockwise and then anti-clockwise. You can do the same, just getting them following your pencil round in a circle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Both are useful. I think I like walls because they make people stretch their eyes further, and it's a harder surface than the human who is working with them. And for some clients that works very much better. That's more consistent than mum trying to watch a toddler and do eye exercises with another child. The next activity we're going to do is converging and diverging eyes. Very, very important, and it's really important you think about how you're going to do it. Some clients, when I come to do this and I get them to say focus on the top of the pen, they will go, which one? Because they have double vision everywhere. And that's the point you discover that actually the child you thought was just a bit naughty actually has been seeing everything in double. And they need to be able to train their eyes so the central 5% of each eye can overlap to send equal messages to the brain so the child sees things in single vision with both eyes. When you've got vision flickering in and out, it's very hard for children. Often the children I see with ADHD, their eyes are flickering in and out of having good vision and not. They can't hold a focus and they're going from one eye to the other and so on. Eventually they tend to go down to just one eye and only work with one eye because that stops the flickering. We've got to get the eyes nice and strong, and they're going to focus in on the top of the pen, and they're going to slowly converge, and the eyes are going to keep it as a single item, and then they're going to come out and diverge. I use both hands when I'm doing this exercise. It's to stop any unconscious business where people go off to one eye. It keeps me working equally with left and right sides. And I train my clients to always work equally with both hands, because it stops that unconscious bias to one eye or the other eye. So, challenging little number, much harder than you think it is. And you want to get, as I said, that central 5% overlapping perfectly. And the first step is to be able to move the eyes in and out, focusing on a pencil top without seeing double at any stage. So as you're bringing it into the child's eyes, you're saying, are you still seeing one? Are you still seeing one? Are you still seeing one? You will see with the eyes when it starts doubling, because the eyes will start jumping. You can see they start flickering. Oh, goodness. And you can see, and there are lots of things you can suggest to try and get these eyes to stop jumping. I think I give you, here we go, some tricks. So it's a lot easier if you've got nice big wide eyes. So big wide eye exercises, going back to wide eye exercises, perhaps before you start it, and getting them to look at it, big eyes, big eyes, big eyes, really feel it with big eyes, keep it as one with big eyes, and you're saying that all the way through. And when it starts jumping, what I often say to people is, okay, stop, we've got it there, we're going to close our eyes off, and we're going to use the palm of our hand, and we're going to cover both eyes. And we're going to block all light, and that's going to relax the muscles around the eye. And we just have them there, count 15, 30 seconds, give them time to relax, because we don't want to distract someone. And then I ask them, you remember where the pencil was? Can you open with big, big wide eyes and just look at it? And what I find is that they can then focus and hold it as a whole single focus nearer. And they'll get a bit nearer just having relaxed their eyes, then open them really wide, and we can get in nearer. And again, we're not straining the eyes, we're coming in slowly over days until they can bring it in and it stays as a single image. And they can take it out as a single image. And what we don't want is it doubling. Yeah? And that's where we're going to stop for today, because we're bringing together, hopefully, at the same time, all those motor skills, all the sound is going on, and this is the vision. And we don't want to rush eye exercises, we want to do them slowly and thoroughly. These are my contact details, and those for Tomatis if you wish to buy sound processing equipment. And I shall be back tomorrow, and we will talk about getting the eyes to the brain, linking up, and doing some basic exercises. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.